Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Paul Pogba intends to stay at Manchester United beyond this season. Now it's said not so long ago that Pogba could leave Manchester United for just £55 million this summer. Matthias Pogba, who's Paul Pogba's brother, he wants Paul Pogba to join Barcelona. Pogba has had a long-running transfer saga. He's been relentlessly linked with a move to Real Madrid. PSG have been in for him, Barcelona have been in for him, and his former club Juventus have been in for him. Pogba did endure 4 good years with Juventus before he rejoined Manchester United, and swap deals were high on the agenda. Now, earlier on this year, there were stories coming out saying that Man United were willing to offer Paul Pogba a new £400,000 a week contract. He said he was demanding £500,000 a week, and Mini Oriola was demanding in the excess of £400,000 a week for his client to remain at Manchester United. It actually said we'll sell Paul Pogba if he doesn't sign a new contract. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has already said that he wants Pogba to stay. He hopes Paul Pogba signs a new contract, because Ole is aware of how much of an imperative player he is. In recent months, we've been getting the best out of Pogba. He does bring creativity to the team. He's more effective in more of an advanced role. He's much better in an advanced role than he is in a deeper role. Pogba sustained a few injuries at Man United. He had a thigh injury a while ago now. He had an ankle injury at one point, and he was out for the vast majority of last season with an ankle injury. Pogba's current contract expires next year, because don't forget we triggered that 1-year extension on his contract. Mini Oriola, his agent, has obviously been desperate to get Paul Pogba out of the football club. Obviously, he did a lot of talking, didn't he, earlier on this year. Obviously, he came out and said that Paul Pogba wants to win trophies at Man United or at another top European club. He said Paul Pogba's future still in doubt, and at one point he mentioned the Eden Hazard and Paul Pogba swap deal. He also said he doesn't give a fuck if he doesn't take another player to Man United as long as his clients are happy, and he also criticised Sir Alex Ferguson. I presume all United fans disagreed with him criticising Ferguson, and he made an announcement back in December last year regarding Pogba, and Ole was furious with Mini Oriola's announcement because it was just before the game against RB Leipzig. Pogba's endured 5 years at Manchester United since he rejoined from Juventus. He's our most expensive signing at the moment because we paid £89 million for him. Obviously, he played in the Europa League final, started off brightly, then he faded away. Don't forget, he gave an exclusive interview to Sky a while ago, and he criticised Jose Mourinho. He says Mourinho went against the players and Solskjaer is different. So reflecting on what he said at that time, he was 100% Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in. Now, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer wants to make 4 new signings. Declan Rice and Jadon Sancho are top of the list. I think we've got a very good chance of signing Jadon Sancho in the summer transfer window, because Borussia Dortmund recently told Jadon Sancho that he can leave the club this summer, and Solskjaer's made Jadon Sancho a transfer priority. Sancho wants to come to Man United and he expects to complete a move to Old Trafford. Jadon Sancho has Man United transfer hopes, as Borussia Dortmund are looking for replacements. I think they want Callum Hudson-Odoi from Chelsea as a replacement for Sancho. Jadon Sancho recently come out and said that he wants his future resolved before the Euros start. Borussia Dortmund have set their asking price. They want around £82 million. Fabrizio Romano did say not so long ago that Man United are interested in Sancho, but he did mention that there's been no official talks or bid yet. It's an open race. Chelsea are in for him, Liverpool were in for him, I don't know if they still are, and Bayern Munich entered the race not so long ago. I think the deal's been agreed for Sancho. He's already agreed the contract and he loves the prospect of joining Man United this summer. I think £82 million is reasonable for Sancho. Dortmund confirmed earlier on this year that they've got a gentleman's agreement with Sancho over a possible transfer. And the Manchester Evening News said that Sancho is pushing for a transfer out of Dortmund this summer. And at one point it said we could use Jesse Lingard to buy Sancho, because Dortmund were actually interested in Jesse Lingard, and Ollie's made his final decision on Lingard. He's ready to sell him. But I thought we was going to get Sancho last summer, because Jadon Sancho to Man United last summer was extremely close. The personal terms had been agreed, the agent fees had been agreed, the wages had been agreed, and the contracts and that had been agreed. But like I've said so many times before, the reason we didn't get him is because we was reluctant to meet Borussia Dortmund's £108 million valuation. We was only willing to pay so much up front. And yeah, £108 million was far too much for him. Dortmund made it clear to us, didn't they, that we had until the 10th of August to sign the player. We obviously missed out on that deadline, so he remained at Dortmund. Jadon Sancho's endured 4 seasons at Dortmund. He's got a contract with them until 2023. Dortmund paid just £8 million for him from Man City back in 2017. The reason he left Man City is because he didn't get assured any first team opportunities, and before City he was at Watford. He was at Watford from the age of 7 to the age of 14. But I want him at Man United, Sancho, because he's predominantly a right winger and we need a right winger. I know we've got Greenwood, but he's still too inexperienced at the moment. Sancho would exceed expectations in the Premier League. He's good at creating chances and he can score very, very good goals. And he'd fit in our team perfectly, like I've said before. And he's got a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford. They do touch base with each other a lot. So yeah, he's top of the list. Declan Rice, like I said, he's high on our list as well. Don't forget Declan Rice said not so long ago he's desperate for Jesse Lingard to seal a permanent transfer at West Ham. Solskjaer did agree with our recruitment team that Declan Rice would be the perfect signing for the club. And I've got to agree on that aspect. Declan Rice would really, really improve us. He's predominantly a holding midfielder. and Man United need a holding midfielder. He can also be deployed as a centre-half as well. He breaks up the play well, he's well proven in the Premier League, and he's still young and he's got a lot of development in him. Reports came out the other month saying that Declan Rice is interested in joining Man United, and he asked Harry Maguire and Luke Shaw about life at Old Trafford. Darren Fletcher did reveal he asked about Man United when he was on England international duty. I reckon we'll get him for around 50 million in the summer transfer window. At one point, West Ham were demanding £100 million. You know, Rice has enjoyed like 7 years now at West Ham. He's got a contract with them until 2024. But Rice would be a good, adequate replacement for Nemanja Matic. The other two players that have been mentioned is Rafael Varane and Pau Torres. As you all know, Man United have held talks with Rafael Varane's representatives. Fabrizio Romano did say not so long ago that Rafael Varane is the main name on Man United's list, and we're waiting to see what happens with his situation at Real Madrid. Not so long ago, Real Madrid rejected a £40 million bid because obviously Real Madrid are demanding £60 million. Liverpool, not so long ago, held talks. Earlier on this year, it actually said that Chelsea were the favourites to sign Varane. It says Chelsea were prepared to pay around £61 million. Varane said though he's keen on a move to the Premier League. His contract talks with Real Madrid stalled a while ago. Rafael Varane's current contract expires next year. Back in 2018, we was prepared to sanction a £100 million move and went in for him 10 years ago. Varane would be a great signing for Man United because he'd complement Harry Maguire in our backline very, very well. World-class centre-half, highly experienced. And he's got a good pedigree as a player. He's won 18 major honours at Real Madrid. He's been a long-serving player at Real Madrid. He's been with them 10 years. He's made over 300 appearances in all competitions. Real Madrid paid just €10 million for him from Lens back in 2011. So Man United still want a centre-half despite Bailly signing a new contract not so long ago. Pau Torres from Villarreal. Got to give him credit. He played very, very well in the final. The last time I read up though, it says Man United were in advanced talks to sign Pau Torres. And it says we want to complete a deal before the Euros. Now, his release clause is £40 million. But I think it did mention that his release clause increases to just over £56 million in the final 15 days of the summer transfer window. Pau Torres has got a contract with Villarreal until 2024 and he's been at Villarreal a while. You know, came up their academy. He did have a loan spell with Malaga. But yeah, £40 million is definitely reasonable for Pau Torres. So anyway, they're the 4 players' names that have recently been mentioned. Now I want to talk with you about Mauricio Pochettinho. Mauricio Pochettinho is available. Sky Sports have come out and said that Mauricio Pochettinho is in talks with Tottenham over a return to the club. Pochettinho is PSG manager at the moment, but he is unhappy there. He said not so long ago though that Pochettinno could make a return to Tottenham to, you know, try and convince Harry Kane to remain at Tottenham. Mauricio Pochettinno was linked with a managerial role at Man United before. That's when he was obviously managerless. And Pochettinho and that was in talks with the club. I think Manchester United should have got him in. Because I really, really think Pochettinno would have suited the shoppings of our club. And he'd have got us where we wanted to be. Pochettinno did endure 5.5 years at Tottenham before. Analysing the vast majority of his tenure, Tottenham were competing in and out of the top 4. And in 2019, Pochettinno guided Tottenham to their first ever Champions League final. It never won out in terms of silverware at Tottenham. He's also managed Southampton before as Pochettinno. He's also managed Espanyol. I think Tottenham made a bad mistake by sacking Pochettinno in the first place. So that's the news on that. Who would you want Manchester United's next manager to be? You know, if we do decide to sack Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Does Ole Gunnar Solskjaer have to go now? You know, we recently lost the Europa League final against Villarreal. You know, Villarreal won 11-10 on penalties. And it was 1-1 after extra time. I was very, very disappointed. Because if we'd have won that final, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer would have won his first trophy as Manchester United manager. You know, we didn't win it though, and it's another trophyless season for Man United. We haven't won a trophy now for 4 years. That's nowhere near good enough to our standards. Solskjaer's come out and accepted that it wasn't a successful season. And Solskjaer said we didn't turn up in the final. But I've got to give credit to Villarreal. You know, I thought they played quite well, took their penalties well, nullified us, and Unai Emery showed tactical flexibility. You know, I do like the way he approached the game. But thinking about it, we should have beat Villarreal because we was the favourites going into the game. You know, that was what Villarreal's first final, was it? It was obviously their first major trophy in what, their 98 year history or something like that, is it? But Solskjaer's to blame in some aspects as well, because he made the wrong substitutions. He brought the substitutions on too late. The first sub came on in the 100th minute of the game. Should have replaced De Gea for Henderson in the penalty shootout. That could have changed somewhat. And I think he should have taken Rashford off because Rashford did sustain a knock. But yeah, despite the loss in the final, I reckon Solskjaer is going to get another season. Solskjaer is aware that next season is going to be massive for him, because next season he has got to exceed expectations if he is to remain Manchester United manager. By the way, Solskjaer is set to be given a new 3-year deal despite the Europa League final loss. I think Ole has just under a year left on his current 3-year contract. But yeah, I presume there is some Man United fans that are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer out after that Europa League final loss. But I also presume there'll be still some Man United fans that are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in, and they believe that he needs more time at the club. Solskjaer has now endured 2 full seasons at Man United. And he's been in charge of the club for 29 months. So that's over 2 years. I told you my 2 biggest concerns about Ole. He hasn't got a proven pedigree as a manager. And his decision making also concerns me. Because in a lot of his games at Man United, he has been tactically naive. And Ole just doesn't have that big club arrogance as a manager. He just doesn't have it. You know, whether Solskjaer succeeds or not as Man United manager, will still always adore him, because at the end of the day, he's a club legend. He endured 11 years as a player for Man United. He flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. He isn't the long-term manager for Man United. Despite us losing that Europa League final, though, I still think we've got to give credit to Solskjaer, because, to be honest with you, I didn't expect him to do as well as he has done. And I think a lot of United fans didn't expect him to do as well as he has done. You've got to say he's done well to say the current squad he was left with when he got appointed in as Man United manager. I think he is our best manager since Ferguson. There's a lot of positives regarding Solskjaer, like I've gone through with you before. There is positives. You know, he got us to the Europa League final. Unfortunately, didn't win it though, but he still got us to the final. You know, got us a 2nd place finish in his 2nd full season. Finishing 2nd isn't an achievement, but we still finished 2nd. You know, we went the entire season without losing away from home in the Premier League. That's a record. You know, he got us to the FA Cup quarter-final. Got us to the EFL Cup semi-final as well in his 2nd full season. I think Ollie did well in his 1st full season at the club. You know, got us a 3rd place finish, guided us to 3 semi-finals. You know, we've got Champions League football for next season. Where is it? So I'll just take him a jump off a bit warm. Yeah, made good signings as Man United manager so far. Spent almost £300 million at the club. You know, got rid of a lot of players since he's come in, and we have enjoyed very, very good periods under him. And I like the way he has promoted the youth. The summer transfer window, though, is huge for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Manchester United in general, and I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is aware of this. You know, Solskjaer has got to get the players he wants to recommend in, because I don't think he has been backed enough so far. And you know what, in the summer transfer window, he should get the backing he deserves. Obviously, we have got John Murtough, he's our director of football. We've also got Darren Fletcher, he's our technical director. And we've got Matt Judge, and Matt Judge has been part of the club for a long time. The summer transfer window will be Ollie's 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. So anyway, let's see who we can bring in. I think we need 3 or 4 good signings if we to have any chance of winning the Premier League next season, or at least challenge for the Premier League. To be honest with you, I think a lot of United fans are very, very sceptical that we'll win a title under Ole. You know. These going to be outgoings in the summer transfer window. Solskjaer did recently say, though, there may not be many outgoings. Already gone through with you. I think the players that need to go. I think De Gea needs to go. I think Lee Grant needs to go. I think Romero needs to go. Phil Jones needs to go. Williams needs to be loaned out. We need to get rid of Delors permanently, which I think we will. We need to get rid of Andres Pereira permanently. He's out on loan with Lazio at the moment. We need to get rid of the Nemanja Matic, we need to get rid of Juan Mata, and we also need to get rid of Anthony Martial. The players we do sell in the summer transfer window will generate money and it will help us with our rebuilding process. But a lot of players will stay at Manchester United in the summer transfer window, and I reckon there's quite a few players that have got long-term futures at the club. So the players I think will stay is Shaw, he'll stay. Maguire, he'll stay. Bailly, we know now obviously he's staying because he signed a new contract not so long ago. Lindelof will stay, I think, potentially past the summer, but he certainly hasn't got a long-term future at the club. And Wan-Bissaka, he'll also stay. Henderson, I'm not too sure about him because there's been rumours of him leaving recently, but I hope Henderson stays. Obviously, he's our number one goalkeeper. We made the right decision putting him as number one because, you know, he's done well in a lot of the games he's been in goal for this season, and plus he's got that experience behind him. Donny van de Beek, I think he'll stay, despite them being rumours of him leaving earlier on this year, because it said we will reject any offers for Van de Beek in the summer transfer window, so reflecting on that, we are reluctant to let him go. Apparently, Solskjaer's got big plans for him. You know, he's made nowhere near as many starts, though, as I expected. You know, he needs to play more, Van de Beek. He hasn't been given enough opportunities. Obviously, we know Bruno Fernandes will be staying. Pogba could still stay. Like I said earlier on, he intends to stay beyond this season. Mason Greenwood will stay. Rashford will stay as well. And we know, obviously, Edison Cavani is staying for next season because not so long ago he signed a one-year deal. Daniel James, I think he'll stay as well, potentially, past the summer. So, yeah. So anyway guys, back on more videos tomorrow. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.